What's going on here, guys? Welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to talk to you guys about another important data type that is present in Python called dictionaries. Now dictionaries, if you were to go and tell it in a very formal term, it's actually a collection of unordered key value pairs, right? That's the most abstract way to put it. But if you want to get an idea, you may think of it like how a dictionary looks like. If you take a dictionary, you'll have a word and you have a meaning for it associated with it, right? So a dictionary in Python is like a collection of words and their meaning. Only thing is, the words are called as keys, and the meaning for that particular word with examples and all of that, they're called as values. That's about it. Okay. More than me talking, let me actually write a dictionary so that you guys have an understanding. Let's suppose you want to save the data of a planet, let's say Mercury for instance. To start with, what you do is write the name and then put equals and put everything inside two curly brackets like this. Alright, that's the start of a dictionary. Alright, and the only thing is, instead of like a set where you just directly enter the values, you do something different. You write everything in key colon value. It's like key colon value. You write them like this and put a comma and write another one, so on and so forth. So for instance, if I want to write the mass of Mercury, which is 0.0553 times the mass of Earth, you write like this. Okay, and here mass is the key, and this value over here, this number over here, this is actually the data or the value associated with that particular key. Alright, now to make it a little more to make it easy to visualize, let's actually put a few more data. Let's suppose you want to add in the radius of the planet. You just write it as radius and then you give the radius. So the radius of Mercury is 2439.7 kilometers, so you write it as 2439.7. and also the density of the planet, if you want to write, the density of the planet is 5.43 times the density of Earth. So 5.43 times the density of water. So I'm going to write it as it is, and there you go. And if someone were to like, hey, I don't know what these units are, what I can do is create another key called as units, and this time instead of a single value, I can pass a list, and I can pass this list like this. Pass it like this, and I have to put a comma over here, and there you go. And this value for this key over here, this entire list is a value. Alright, so let's print it out first so that we have an idea. So to print it, what you need to do is just print Mercury. Alright, and when I run this, check this out, you have this entire dictionary available for you. Now if you're wondering what is the data type for it, just type and then Mercury and run this. There we go. It says class dict, meaning it's a dictionary. Now here's the thing, if you want to create an empty dictionary, I'll just put this as sample dictionary. So let's say you want to create an empty dictionary. Let's say what you need to do is just put these curly brackets empty. That's it. For instance, if let's say Earth, if you want to make an empty, okay, not Earth, a planet dictionary, some unknown planet, say planet X or something, for which I don't know, I just have to put an empty curly brackets and that's it. And this is actually an empty dictionary. Empty dictionary. So if I were to say print, I'll just say planet and then I'll say type of planet X, let's say. Check this out. It says empty, and this is also a dictionary. The moment I give empty parenthesis like this, it's an empty dictionary. That's it. Now, if I were to add one more entry to it, it's fairly easy. What I can do is that I can just call in, just say planet X, and then planet X, and then I open brackets. And what I can do is put in new keys and values inside. For instance, now let's say the mass of this new planet X is actually what 1.5 times the mass of Earth. I just have to say planet X within brackets and single quotes mass equals 1.5. And now if I print this fellow over here, sorry, so now I print this value over here. Now this is now note this print statement is before adding it, and this print statement is after adding this particular key value pair. And what do I get? Earlier there was nothing, now we added like this. Cool. Now this way you can populate your dictionary by adding key value pairs continuously like this. Okay, here's a question. What if you want to go and change the dictionary? You already have values, right? What if you want to go and change it? That's fairly easy. Now let's say I wanted to change this Mercury to some little bit. Let me comment this let me comment this particular line. Okay, and let's say I want to go and make some changes to this. All I have to do is call Mercury, and then in the units, okay, like for instance units, and I want to change this value. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste it here, and now you can go and change it. It's like if you, instead of times, you want to put at x, for instance, just to indicate the multiplication sign, and there you go. And this one you can write it as density of water if you want to do it. There you go. Now you made the corrections, and if you want to print Mercury out, you print Mercury out and see what happens. Earlier the value was different, now the value is different. Alright, and now if you want to access any particular entry, all you have to do is just put the index like this. So if I want to access let's say the radius of Mercury, all I have to say Mercury within quotes radius, and if I print this out, it gives you the radius. Cool. Now if you want to go further and want to print the particular value like this, all you have to do is just copy, paste it here. Okay, what did I paste? Okay, copy this, paste it here, and what I'm going to do is, instead of radius, I have to call units, right, first, because I have to access this, and inside this the value is this entire thing, and in this value I want to particularly get this one, kilometers. So this is, since this is a list, this value is a list, and kilometer is actually in the first index. No, remember, this is the 0th index and this is the first index, and indexing in Python starts with 1, so keep that in mind. I have to put, indexing starts with 0, my bad, it starts with 0, so this has to be 1, and if I print it and write it out over here, and when I run this, it says kilometer. So if you want to use this in a print statement or as anywhere else, you can just directly use it just casually. For instance, if I want to write the radius of, what am I spelling, Mercury is, and I can say Mercury, and then I say radius, and then I can put another one and say Mercury radius, and then I can call this particular one entry over here, and there you go. Now this will say something like the radius of Mercury is so and so kilometer, right? Now let's check that out. Wait a minute, did I forget something? Yeah, my bad, radius doesn't have, is not a list, right? I have to call units, my bad. Okay, now it should work fine. Yeah, there we go. It says the radius of Mercury is 2439.7 kilometer. Sweet. Now let's say I want to do a little more tweaks with it. Like, let's say I want to create more entries to dictionaries like this, right? Instead of doing like this, there's another way to go about. What you can do is you can call in the Dict function available. So there are two ways to go about it. I'm just going to copy this code. Yeah, I know I kind of prepared this a little bit early and paste it because it's not much value in typing this part. So what you can do is call in the Dict function and pass in the particular values like this. Alright, not a big difference, you can directly create it, but in case if you want a conversion function and all, you can do it like this. And this dict function is very useful in case you have a lot of list and tuples. For instance, you have a list of tuples like this with with mass value like this and all of that. This is where the dict function is very useful. This will automatically convert this entire thing into a dictionary with each tuple or a list here as one key value pair, with the first value to be the key and the second value to be the pair. Alright, now like that it will go about with it. And if I want to cross verify how they look like, all I have to do is just print Jupiter. Okay, I can print Venus as well, but this is more than enough. And if I were to run this, there you go. Jupiter has mass of 317.83. It's 317.83 times the mass of Earth. It has a radius of 71,492 kilometers, and it is 1.33 times the density of water, and so on. And these are the units that we decided on the top. There you go. And likewise, it's likewise. You know what I'm saying is like just like other lists and tuples, there are a lot of functions associated with dictionaries. Let's go to them one by one. So if I want to create another planet called as planet Y, let's say this is some kind of a hypothetical twin of Jupiter, and I want to copy all the entries of Jupiter to planet Y, all you need to do is, you might think this is enough, right? But remember mutation, keep that in mind. So if I were to say ID of planet Y and ID of Jupiter, let me comment this out. Now check, if you check the IDs of these two, the IDs are exactly the same. So you shouldn't do like that. This is like a automatic. Okay, I don't know what happened. I don't know why this 3 came here. Anyway, this is a mutated copy. I'm leaving it as it is so that you guys can play around with it. This is a mutated copy, and you want an actual copy. Let's say what you need to do is an actual copy, and it's also called as shallow copy. And what you have to do for this is that create a new value and then type Jupiter dot copy, and that's it. And now you type these two, planet Z and Jupiter, you'll notice a big difference. The memory entries are different, the memory IDs are entirely different. Alright, and there you go. This is how you copy them. And also, if you want to clear data, let's say clear dictionaries, clear dictionary, all you have to do is just type that dictionary. Let's say I want to clean up planet Z, and then type clear. That's it. And afterwards, if I were to print planet Z after cleaning it up, let's see, what do I get? I get an empty dictionary like this. Alright, I get an empty dictionary. On the other hand, if I want to delete a dictionary, all I have to do is just type planet Z, and then I have to use this delete command that we've been seeing in the past videos. You just have to type this, and then if you call print planet Z, this will throw an error because it's inaccessible. So far it's accessible, but the moment you delete it, if it won't be accessible, so you get this name error called planet Z not defined. Alright, so this is how you print it. This is how you delete it, right? Now what you can get is, what not all you can do is that you can have a particular way to get all the keys. So if I were to say if I were to create a list called as planet key, if I were to create a variable called as planet keys, and if I were to get all the keys off with this, all I have to do is just take any planet dictionary and then type keys. And if I were to print planet key, let's see, planet keys, and also type of planet keys, let's see what happens. There you go. You get a particular class called as dict keys. And there you go. You have, I mean, this planet keys is nothing but dictionary keys that are iteratable, and they have a specific class called as dict keys. Alright, these are nothing but the keys of a dictionary. And I think there is a value as well. For instance, if I were to copy this, no, I'm this one I'm trying it out by myself. I don't know whether this is there. I'm just exploring. If I were to say planet values, what if is there a something called as planet values? Is there one? I don't know, just trying it out. So if I were to say value, oh, there is one. Interesting. Huh. If I were to print this out, what do I get? Ah, wonderful. So there is something called dict values. Interesting. I was just trying this out of fluke and I got it. Interesting. There you go. You actually can separate the values and keys from a dictionary just like that. And by default, there are other things that you can do. You can get the values, you can get keys just like this. You can pop items out, you can update the values later and copy them and so on and so forth. There are like another 5 or 6 functions that are available in Python that you can work, methods in Python that you can work on top of dictionaries. But I think you have a clear idea right now. With that being said, I'm going to stop now. With this, I think our major data types that are available in Python are over. And there's only one more data type that is available that is very important, called NumPy arrays and NumPy dictionaries. We'll come across that in due time. For now, that's how I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop here. In the next video, we're going to talk about loops. And I'm going to talk about how you can access all these entries, list, tuple, set and dictionary values through loops, and which is of very vital importance. Till then, take care.